An AI agent just deleted system files, installed 3 random browser extensions, and tried to reboot the machine. And none of it mattered, because the whole macOS environment was disposable. That is the core idea behind GhostVM. Spin up a full macOS virtual machine in seconds, hand the keys to your AI agent, let it do whatever it wants, then throw the whole thing away. This is not a theoretical concept. GhostVM is a real, running project built specifically to solve a problem that anyone running autonomous AI agents will hit within the first 10 minutes. Your agent needs a real operating system to work in, and you absolutely cannot let it loose on your actual machine. So what does GhostVM actually do? It provisions macOS virtual machines on demand, pre-configured so that an AI agent can take full GUI control. We are talking mouse clicks, keyboard input, file system access, app installs, the full thing. The agent sees a real macOS desktop, not a simulated one. It can open Safari, drag files, run scripts, interact with native apps. From the agent's perspective, it is sitting at a real Mac. The key engineering detail here is isolation. Each VM is its own sealed environment. What happens inside stays inside. The agent can corrupt the file system, install malware by accident, crash the OS, none of it touches your host machine or any other VM. When the session ends, the VM is gone. The next agent gets a fresh, clean image. If you are building or deploying AI agents at any scale, you will need somewhere to host these VMs. DigitalOcean has solid infrastructure for exactly this kind of workload, spinning up and tearing down compute environments on demand. Worth checking out if you are thinking about productionizing something like GhostVM. But here is the thing, this is where the honest part comes in. GhostVM does not solve the hard problem of agent reliability. The VM being safe does not mean the agent is smart. If your agent clicks the wrong button, submits the wrong form, or goes into an infinite loop opening Finder windows, the sandbox will not catch that. It just isolates the damage to the environment, not to the task. There is also the question of scale and cost. macOS VMs are not cheap to run. Apple's licensing terms around macOS virtualization are famously restrictive. You can legally run macOS VMs only on Apple hardware. That is a real constraint. You cannot just spin up 1,000 cloud instances running macOS the way you would with Linux. The infrastructure behind something like GhostVM has a hard ceiling defined by physical Apple hardware availability. And right now, the tooling around agent-to-VM communication is still early. Connecting your agent framework, whether that is LangChain, AutoGen, or something custom, to a live GUI VM requires careful plumbing. GhostVM gives you the VM. The integration layer is largely on you. What surprised me was thinking about where this goes in 12 to 18 months. The realistic near-term use case is QA automation. Instead of writing brittle Selenium scripts, you describe a test in plain language, an agent runs it inside a fresh macOS VM, and you get a result. The environment resets between every run. No state bleed, no flaky tests caused by leftover cookies or cached data. Another plausible trajectory is onboarding automation. New developer joins a team, an agent spins up a VM, installs the full dev environment, runs the setup scripts, and reports back what broke. Every time, clean slate. That is genuinely useful and does not require the agent to be particularly smart, just reliable within a controlled environment. Software testing on macOS-specific apps is another obvious fit. Mac-only tools, iOS simulators, Final Cut plugins, anything that only runs on macOS and needs automated interaction. Right now, testing those things is painful. GhostVM-style sandboxes could absorb a lot of that pain. So why does this exist? Because the AI agent space moved faster than the infrastructure around it. Agents can now operate GUI interfaces, browse the web, write and run code, capabilities that would have seemed remarkable 2 years ago. But most teams running agents are still doing it directly on developer machines or on thin Linux containers that do not support native GUI apps. That gap is what GhostVM is filling. There is also a security dimension that is easy to underestimate. An agent that can install software, access the file system, and make network calls is a significant attack surface. If the agent is processing untrusted input, say, summarizing documents from the internet, a malicious document could potentially manipulate the agent into doing something harmful. A disposable VM does not eliminate that risk, but it contains the blast radius dramatically. The verdict: GhostVM is early, it is real, and it is solving a problem that only gets more important as agents get more capable. It is not a finished product. The macOS licensing constraint alone limits how far it can scale without significant Apple hardware investment. But as a pattern, disposable OS sandboxes for AI agents is not a nice-to-have. It is going to be table stakes. If you are building anything with autonomous agents, drop a comment below. I want to know what your current sandboxing strategy looks like, or if you are just crossing your fingers. Next episode, we are looking at a project that lets AI agents browse the web with a memory that actually persists between sessions, and the results are weirder than you would expect.